I mean, it's not Milo and Otis level cat abuse, but it's still cat abuse. Jamie?
Yeah.
Let's go watch Cat's Eye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. I'm half of the team here at the Good Time. I am Jamie Lorello. On the other great movie is a DP McCambridge, all the way from Pennsylvania. That's
Did you forget where I live for a second?
No, I was like sounding it out. It's such a weird word to spell, Pennsylvania.
Well, you did say Pennsylvania, which I'm not really sure that's how it's even phonetically put together.
Well, in my mind, I'm just going to do it now. Yeah.
You lived here for a long time.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Salivania. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
Somewhere.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
It's Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
which means Penn's Woods. If you were paying attention in like fourth grade.
Oh, see, I wasn't in
Okay.
Pennsylvania in fourth grade. That's fine.
Wait, where were you?
I was in New York in fourth grade.
Wait, when did you move here? This is so interesting for our listening audience.
Some background on me, just in case. I moved to I moved to the beautiful mountains of the Poconos when I was 15. So like,
oh my
grade?
God!
Yeah.
I did not know you were that old. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uprooted.
I was getting ready for retirement. Yeah.
I don't know. Isn't that a rough time to move? Like we moved when I was in like fourth grade, which is nothing. That's nothing.
You're just kind of. And did you move within the same town, or did you move like?
No, we moved across the state from the Pittsburgh
the Pittsburgh area. Yeah.
Philadelphia area. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a big move from like a smaller city to a big city.
Well, yeah, it was tough. They said soda around here. We said pop.
Oh, yeah, see?
But once I got over that hurdle.
You ran the sweeper. They had a vacuum. Yeah. Yeah. Look at you. There was no scarring from that.
Nope. I don't even want to say pop anymore. It sounds weird to me.
No, that's an uncle or a dad figure. That's not something you drink.
An uncle?
Maybe not an uncle.
Uncle Pop.
Uncle Pop. We're real close, me and Uncle Pop.
Well, anyway, was it tough moving here when you were 15?
I didn't find it so. I guess you're right. It could be a sort of delicate age, but I had a nice transition. I went from being living in the like city in New York to being in the like mountains and nature.
In the woods?
Yeah.
How did I never know that? What?
I don't know. You've known me for quite a long time, but you didn't know me then. You knew me at, I guess, another phase.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. I knew that you were from New York, but I guess I just thought your parents were from New York, or you moved when you were like a little kid or something. Huh. Let's not even talk about Cat's Eye. Let's just talk about the life of Jamie.
This is what our audience really wants. I know.
The awkward years, right? Is that
Oh,
fair?
they
like
were
15?
awkward. They were awkward. There was
16.
a lot of mustache. There was a lot of frizzy hair. There was some spandex and oversized shirts. It was awkward.
Okay. Oh, I mean,
it was awkward.
That was most of that was. I mean, I didn't have I barely have the mustache thing now. So.
You do though. The audience can't see, but you do nice shapes with your facial hair. Shapes?
Well, thanks. It's because there are certain parts on my face where I can't grow hair, so I can't do a full goatee because I can't connect the mustache to the bottom part of the goatee.
Would you ever do the filler stuff? You know, the like the hair, like face stuff. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Isn't there like spray on hair? Like there's a spray on tan.
Yeah, but I don't know if you'd spray that right on your face.
I don't know. You'd have to be pretty committed to wanting like that full goatee or whatever. Like you said, you just kind of work with what you got, and you do a great job.
I did for a while. I don't know if you remember this. I had a mustache not connected to the bottom, and my wife was horrified.
Oh, she was not happy about it.
I kept it for an entire year, though.
You were like, "This is what I'm working with.
Every day.
This is what I'm working with."
That
Our
only
audience.
lasted a year. That was called the 2013, I can't think of something to call it, gross facial hair period?
It was an attempt. It was an attempt made by your
Mhm.
facial hair to,
Mhm.
make a bold statement.
I enjoyed it. In every picture of me that year, I am smiling.
I bet you're beaming. Yeah, you're
I
just beaming.
loved it. I loved it, and Carla looks miserable.
And Carla's just glaring at you in each. Oh.
All right. Anyway,
Good times, great facial hair, right? Am I right?
Uh-huh.
Is that the name
Yep.
of this podcast?
that's going to be
I
our
think it
spin-off
is.
podcast, our supplemental podcast. We'll start one of those Patreon things where people pay us to do this, and they'll get like secret bonus episodes, and it'll just be about facial hair.
I've always thought if I was a man that could and should grow facial hair, I would do
Mhm.
those, what are they called?
Those mutton chops?
The mutton chops, yeah. I feel like I would be.
I could do that. I could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah? So
Yeah.
Carla would hate me if I encouraged it, but I kind of
Oh
want to
my
encourage
god,
it.
she'd be so upset by it.
And
I see how long I can take my sideburns down on my head before it becomes obnoxious.
when does it become obnoxious, though?
When it starts to make its way to the front of the face. If it's just like think about
If
90210.
it's hanging out
They had
mid cheek,
right, yeah. They
Okay.
had those huge sideburns in
Yeah.
90210, but they
Yeah.
were just straight down. Like they were
True.
like Lincoln logs stuck on the side of their heads. Yeah, they never crept forward.
They
It
wouldn't go
never became
parallel.
like pointy.
No,
You know
it
how
was very
comes-
square. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So you've got to keep it. Okay, okay.
Can you guys tell we don't have much to talk about with this movie? We'd rather be talking about this. Oh, our sponsor is, I can't even think of a razor company.
Gillette? Isn't Gillette a razor company?
It's the best a man can get.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
God. All right. Well, anyway, is this the end? Are we done with this podcast?
And yes.
I mean, forever. Is this it? I assume if we ever have a last episode, that's what it'll be. People are waiting for us to get to some movie.
Yes,
And we just ramble on like idiots for 10 minutes and then just it goes dead.
and then we just call it quits. Yeah, and then we just kind of fade out, like the fade out of a
Mhm.
song. We don't end on like a note. It's a slow fade of just babble. I'll tell you what we're not saying. We're not saying what movie we watch.
Mm-mm. No, if you're here to listen to us talk about our first Stephen King movie, you are very disappointed right
And our
now.
is this our second Drew Barrymore?
It is. She was in Toys
Babes
Attack
in Toyland.
Monsters.
Babes in
yes,
Toyland.
that's what it
Toys
was.
Attack Monsters.
Whatever.
Toys Attack
I do
Mr.
have
Miyagi.
to say, I will say some pretty rotten things about this movie, but
Mhm.
I will say it's a better Drew Barrymore performance
I think-
than Babes in
listen,
Toyland.
I have to tell you, I am not.
Mhm.
I'm a fan of Drew Barrymore over.
I thought you were about to say a Korean. You're not Korean.
I'm a fan
Don't
of.
tell our audience that.
Not only was I raised in New York, I am Korean. No, I am not really a fan of. I think I said this during our Babes in Toyland. I'm not really a fan of Drew Barrymore. I don't really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we both
yeah.
said it. I'm
But-
not either.
This is her best work. I think out of anything she's ever
Wait
done.
a second. Come on. She was in E.T.
She
What
was
are you talking
adorable. She was a kid and an adorable one. This is really showing some acting chops. I think it was after this that things went downhill for her.
Okay. All right. You're saying her breath did not smell like booze on set. Is that what you're talking about?
Was this her boozy years? Was this
I
part
don't
of her
know.
boozy
I don't
years?
know. Her boozy years were very young.
Yeah, they were.
It could have been. It could have been. Is this before or after E.T.?
This is after, because
After,
she was a
after.
little Bubba in E.T. She's a little older in this one, and she's our main kind of, besides the cat, I guess.
One of
She's
my favorite parts was watching Drew Barrymore watch this fight scene
between
unfold on
the
her
two.
chest.
Yeah.
Yes, she just sits there. Her mouth is wide open, and her eyes are frantic. Like nothing's happening in front of her. But they're like,
yeah.
"Listen, there's a goblin fighting a cat on your chest. Just look amazed by this."
And she does a really nice job. She's not an annoying Drew Barrymore. She doesn't
No.
over lisp, which she tends to do sometimes. It's a good performance. It
It's
is.
not. It's
She's-
not bad.
She's
Yeah.
a mannequin. mannequin ghost at one point, right? Isn't that
She's a
kind
mannequin
of
ghost. At one point, she's wearing like a Little Orphan Annie wig, and it's
Yeah.
very obnoxious. And then
Yeah.
she's a girl that has I don't want to sound insensitive by saying what's wrong with his daughter. What's wrong with his daughter, James Woods? Does she have a problem? She's at a school for the gifted or the special.
Oh,
not the
yeah,
gifted.
yeah. I guess she, I don't know.
She's got a problem, right? Like,
she's got a problem.
I mean, no, I'm
I-
serious.
Yeah, her problem is her dad's addicted to cigarettes.
Yeah, that's a pretty big problem. Oh my god, this movie's crazy. All right, how is it taking us this long to even get into this? Let's go. So, okay, so first of all, this is Cat's Eye. It's 1985. It's directed by Louis Teague, who is a working director. He hasn't done much that's of any note, but he makes movies still, so good for him.
I have to ask, is this a real cat the whole time? Is that a real...
I think so. Most everything, except for that guy falling off the building, was practical effects, I think.
Oh, all right.
I think. I mean, well, okay, wait. There's also a miniature goblin.
Yeah, no, that's real. That was real casting. Because the parents even saw it chopped up in the fan, remember? And it really had a hole.
You're right, it was real. Everything is real but a guy who fell off the building. I don't think that there were any fake cats or cat puppets.
Well, it's a
used.
very cat puppet. It's a very well trained cat, and it
is it is great cat acting.
Yeah, I texted you during me watching it, and I said that I thought the cat did a better performance in this movie than Brooke Shields did in our previous movie.
Totally agree. Although I would have kind of liked it if Brooke Shields just wandered in and out of these stories and kind of like meddled in other people's business, and then maybe at the end licked Drew Barrymore's face. All right, so it's Cat's Eye. It's a horror anthology, which means it's multiple stories that have the weakest of connective tissue, which is just a cat wanders around.
Yeah, and the cat has not really a powerful part. Well, when we first meet the cat, we realize it does have a power, right? Because it can listen to mannequins.
Yeah, its power is seeing Drew Barrymore everywhere, which...
And Drew Barrymore is a ghost in the...
I don't know.
Like, is she the ghost of the girl in the last story?
What? Wait, you mean the girl in the last story's dead?
No, like the girl in the last story could have died.
I was
really reading into this.
Okay, first of all, let's get into this.
Okay.
It's a Stephen King written movie.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of previews for this because every time I was trying to find clips, like there's no clips online, so they kept taking me to the preview over and over.
Oh, okay.
They were really touting that this is his first written script, or this is the first movie that he wrote.
Oh.
But then the movie constantly reminds us of better Stephen King movies at the beginning because we see Cujo running around.
Oh, Christine,
and there's a car that pulls up that says Christine on like the license plate.
Yeah.
Later on, we're watching The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. Oh, I wish I was watching The Dead Zone now instead of James Woods watching The Dead Zone. But anyway, so the first two stories, Quitters Inc. and the one with the guy on the ledge, those were stories in books.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the last one was just a story that I assume he wrote in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, right before they were like, this has got to have 3 parts. Yeah,
exactly.
It's not long enough with just the 2.
Hey, Stephen King, you can't give us 2 stories. And he frantically looked through and he's like, maybe I have one with a cat somewhere. Nope. I guess I have to justify a cat being in this. I'll write the goofiest thing ever the end of this.
I think he got high watching an episode of Tom and Jerry, and he was like, "Oh, I know what I'll do." Well, and she's watching Tom and Jerry at one point.
No doubt. When I read interviews with Stephen King, like old interviews and stuff, and he talks about just how coked up he was all the time writing these stories.
Yeah.
This kind of makes sense that he would write something that should not be together. These stories have nothing
that
to
does
do with
kind
one
of make
another.
if I thought that this was written by a man who was like on a coke binge, then I understand the common denominator.
Yeah. And then this guy is on the ledge, and then the cat makes it all the way from, I don't know, where does he start? Maine? I don't know. That's where I live. It's Maine. So it starts in
keeps
Maine.
pecking and pecking and pecking.
Mr. King, this doesn't make any sense. There's a cat, and the cat's in every story. Don't you understand? It's called Cat's Eye, because with his eyes, he sees Drew Barrymore. Okay. Here's your big sack of money.
Here's your
Get out of my office.
sack of money.
Anyway, so there are 3 stories.
Yes.
You're right in that the cat, okay, first of all, to get away from a rabid dog, the cat jumps on in the back of a truck, a cigarette truck, mind you.
Yeah, tobacco truck, yeah.
And he travels to the big city of New York.
I like that when we are like kind of following the cat and the cat's POV, there's this triumphant like electronic 80s music in the background, like this I can't even do it, but this like
I think we're supposed to root for this cat for some reason and feel that it's a hero. I mean, it does save the day a couple times.
It's just very fun to, in the beginning, you're literally just kind of following this cat on his adventure. Like,
but for
now we're in
stretches in this movie, I'd totally forgotten. And then I'm like, oh yeah, there's that cat. So the cat goes to New York, and we meet a man, James Woods, who's all jittery and obnoxious, as James Woods usually is.
Yeah.
But he wants to quit smoking, and he's taken to a place called
Quitters Inc.
Quitters Inc. by a friend of his.
Yeah.
He's driven there by a friend who's like, this is the best. It's going to change your life.
You need to quit smoking. Yeah.
And he goes up to this office.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll get into this business because I don't understand this business at all.
But, it's extreme. It's very extreme. And again, when you mentioned,
extreme.
Okay.
It is. Go ahead. But it is great because he goes into this office to fill out medical forms or whatever you have to fill out when you go to the doctor. And there's a man next to him that's just sobbing.
Yeah.
Just sobbing uncontrollably. And I love how James Woods is in a waiting room at a place that helps you quit smoking, and he decides to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, he thinks about it. He looks around. There's signs, there's posters up about quitting smoking. There's the guy is sobbing, and we're not sure why. We're like, did he lose a loved one that's a smoker? And yeah, James Woods.
He's going to light a cigarette. It's like he doesn't realize you can't do it, or he doesn't care.
I think he doesn't care.
I mean, it's James Woods. He's like, yeah, what the hell are they going to do to me? I'm James Woods.
Well, and I think it's the 80s, and I guess in the 80s there was that. I mean, they had ashtrays on airplanes, so there was this sort of obliviousness. I love how later on when he's at the party, like it is just a haze of smoke, of cigarette smoke. Like everyone is smoking cigarettes and like pressuring him, and I'm like, I think these are like wacky tobacco cigarettes because his friend in that party that's like, come on, smoke the cigarette, who is.
I have to tell you, I was kind of on board with this story until that party, and then I was like, well, this is just stupid. Like, this is just really
So wait, you were on board. Okay, so let's back up. So this man, the sobbing man, also has a wife now who comes out from behind
is disheveled.
Oh, she's like cracked out.
Torn up. She can't even walk right.
Yeah.
And he's trying to comfort her, and she's pushing him away. And finally they shuffle out, and this is where James Woods is like, I don't know that this is a great idea.
Because you're not sure. Is she the one that's trying to quit? And he looks over before the gentleman.
Either way, it is a mess. Like,
yeah, it's a
I don't
shady
care
place.
who's the one trying to quit smoking. This is a bad scene.
Yeah, exactly. These people who got the shakes. It's not looking like something you should be a part of. But they draw him in anyway. He's like going to say, no, I don't need to give you my paperwork. I'm not even going to come in. And next thing he knows, he's in the office of the head honcho, who is Alan King, right?
Alan King.
Yes.
When like a 1960s comedian is in charge of this, like this is bad.
Question mark.
And he doesn't even waste time like pretending to be his buddy. Like
No.
it is just like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and before this happens, as he goes into his office, or as James Woods goes into this place, we see a guy get out of a car with a cat carrier and grab our hero, the cat.
Oh,
after
yeah.
it sees a mannequin Drew Barrymore.
That's right.
talk
Yeah.
to it.
When our cat first gets to the city, it communicates with the mannequin, and then some jabroni comes out and like puts it
Yep.
in a cat carrier and is
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
you're gonna be a
You
like
saved me a trip to the pound.
Yeah.
And what I loved about this scene is he pulls up in the car, opens the door, gets out, puts the cat in the carrier, then just walks across the street, leaves the car there, the door open and everything, and I guess
I
he
didn't
just
notice
wanders back into this office. So it is threats right away. It's like, you're never going to smoke a cigarette again, because if you smoke a cigarette, hey, check this out. And he opens these drapes to this shock box, basically.
Yeah.
It's an electrified room, and our cat is in there, and
I
he
know.
starts zapping this cat.
And it's really sad. Like, for a minute, I'm like, and even James Woods is like, don't do it to the cat. Like,
Yeah, James
wants
Woods
him
is,
to
what is
stop. He's
happening?
very
He doesn't,
compassionate.
at this point, James Woods has no idea what's going on.
No.
He
And
hasn't been told a thing. He has been taken into a guy's office to watch this man electrocute a cat in front of him.
He makes a cat barbecue, and
Yeah.
he locks him. He lock him. He like kind of does an auto lock on the doors,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
locks him in the office.
Yep. Won't let him out. And James Woods is even like, listen, you can electrocute as many cats as you want, but let me out of here.
I'm gonna go. And I think he mentions like, if you don't let me go, I'm gonna call the cops. Like, this whole gig is
like,
crazy.
my lawyer, yeah. But it doesn't make any sense, because he's like, you signed these documents. Hey, you're gonna quit smoking, and if you don't, we're gonna put your wife in here. And
No,
if you
wait,
don't
there's
do
4.
that,
Yeah.
we're gonna put your kid in there.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't help,
We're going to rape your wife? That's like, so here's how they get somebody to quit smoking. It's an intense program. He explains it.
Right.
And because the founder of their program died of lung cancer, they're really serious about getting people to quit smoking. So this is a tactic that works for them. His wife and his child will go in this electric room. First offense, the wife goes in. Second offense, the kid goes in. Third offense, the wife gets raped. Fourth offense, he gets killed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which,
And so wait, quitting smoking
None of
is
this
that
makes sense.
hard? Is quitting smoking that hard that you
well,
like
hold
your
on.
wife
First of all,
getting raped?
that just means that he smoked 4 times. Like, that's it. 4 times and you're dead. Also, he makes a point to say that they have a rapist on staff.
Yeah, who's
he's
ready to rape.
The raping dude. Which then made me wonder, if a woman comes in for this, are they like, we're going to rape your husband? We got a
Right.
guy who does that.
We got a
He
guy who does
loves
that
it.
too. It's all
He's
part of getting
into
them to
it.
quit smoking.
So how are they making money, Jamie? No money is ever discussed. It's not like, you're paying us this much money to do this. This is what we're doing. He's got like 5 dudes on the payroll just to watch James Woods.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't understand this business.
I don't understand the business
And also,
model either.
it's not like quitting drinking. There's no drugs. It's cigarettes only. That's it.
Yeah. But it tells you, I guess, how sick the addiction is, like how connected people are to, because he can't. So the first night, he goes home, right? And you could see that he's on edge. And it's kind of funny because he's on edge the way a normal, like, oh, I've quit smoking today, I think smoker would be. He's kind of snappy with his wife. He's irritable. He seems really hungry. He's kind of got the munchies. And when he tells the wife that he's deciding to quit smoking, she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing it for us, blah, blah, blah.
She's very proud, but I also like how she's like, even if you don't do it, we're proud of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She
She's
gives
like,
him kind of that
he's
layway out.
He's probably tried this 100 times
She's
before.
like, come on. All your friends at work are smokers.
Even when he says, I haven't had a cigarette in 6 hours, she's like, holy shit,
yes,
6
she's
hours?
so surprised. Yeah, she's like,
That's
what?
crazy.
That's right. She,
But he is
Well, he
on edge.
doesn't-
He's like drinking. Yeah. He's drinking. He's eating ice cream. Like,
yeah. He's having a hard time.
I
And
know.
then he can't sleep. And at 3 a.m., which is exactly like 12 hours, since I think it's like 3 in the afternoon, he goes to he wakes up and he goes down to kind of downstairs to his office, and he shifts through some drawers and he finds a cigarette. And so you think he's going to smoke it, but there was a clear warning given that they watch him always. They're constantly, surveillance is on him all the time. And suddenly he sees, I think he hears a noise from the closet.
Mm-hmm. So he goes in and like his golf clubs fall out or whatever. And he throws the umbrella in, and you just hear a guy go, oof.
Oh,
and then it's great because then he just talks to the closet. He just talks to his shoes in the closet, and he's like, I wasn't smoking. Hey, go back.
Tell him I didn't smoke it.
And he breaks the cigarette, and he's like, I'm just down here to get my golf clubs. And he just grabs them and leaves the room.
And then the next morning, she wakes up and she's like laying next to them.
Yeah, it's like he put them in the bed where he's supposed to lay. It's very
I think he
strange.
just freaked out. And he probably couldn't even sleep that night because he didn't really. The next morning we see there was rain boots in the closet the night before. There's no shoes in there now.
And we see some like chubby dude like pretending to jog outside his house, but he's wearing the same shoes with socks on.
Right. So clearly there was someone in his house last night watching him to make sure he doesn't, which is really creepy when you think about it. Like this.
It's very creepy.
Yeah.
And again, I don't see how they're making money at this business. I have a big problem with this.
Like, I know. I don't. It's a very intense program to quit smoking.
It must work.
Like.
It's got to work.
Well, you're dead. You're dead if it doesn't work.
Right.
Basically,
but then that doesn't even make any sense because 4 times and you're dead. Well, then if you are paying this company, they're not getting that money. Like, shouldn't it be like 10 steps? Like, and each one gets increasingly
You
horrific?
would think.
If that's the case, rape is not number 3. Like, that could be like number 8, maybe.
Why does it even have to be on there? I wonder out loud.
Why is that on there? That's right. Just start with the electrocution, and I would assume that should be enough for people.
I would think. And then the kid gets electrocuted. Because okay, you're right. I guess she goes to a Catholic school, I thought.
Yes,
I didn't think it
called,
was a
sorry,
special
I wrote it down
school.
in the notes. It is the School for the Exceptional. And Drew Barrymore is wearing these Coke bottles on her eyes.
She is.
And I didn't know it was her until the end of the movie.
In the beginning or throughout the whole thing?
No, his daughter.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a little more misleading as this one.
He shows up in the middle of the day at school to buy her a Cabbage Patch Kid, which I thought was kind of rude. Like, he pulls her out of, I don't know, gym class or recess to give her this Cabbage Patch Kid. And I love how she goes, what's her name? And I just wanted to say, Sweet William. I wanted that Cabbage Patch Kid's name to be Sweet William.
Oh, didn't we all? And then she'd hug him and go through a mirror. Save the cat.
Well, and earlier we forgot to mention, when he fills out this form, Alan King's like, hey, you didn't fill out your form all the way. You didn't write down where your daughter goes to school. And he's like, I don't think that is pertinent.
Yeah, why does that help me quit smoking, right? Again, trying to get too private. Well, so he shows up now
shows up at his daughter's school. Yeah.
And I think that's also to show, like, yeah, we told you. We have no problem threatening her. We know how to get her. You are constantly supervised.
Yeah, exactly. And he does a really good job because now it's this party, which is...
Yeah, he kind of gets paranoid at this party.
I would argue this is the worst scene in not just this story, but in the entire movie.
In the house, yeah.
Terrible. Because he hallucinates at one point, just like a giant pack of cigarettes with arms and legs walking around. He hallucinates a tray of deviled eggs with eyes that move around. Yeah, it is terrifying.
There's kids ashing in the punch. And then this is when his friend is like obnoxiously peer pressuring. Come on.
This is weird. You are 40-year-old men and you're peer pressuring your buddy into smoking
a cigarette? Yeah. And he's like, no, I really am trying to quit. And literally, like I said, everybody at this party is...
Oh, and you got to figure, he's getting enough secondhand smoke to be satisfied by this, right? Yeah, like, this should not be... Because it is just cloudy everywhere. You can barely see
thick
2
haze.
feet in front of your face at this party.
You do see, though, the Alan King's character is Mr. Piazzi or something like that, right?
Don't know,
He comes
but okay.
dancing down the stairs, too, right? As part
He's
of
wearing,
his,
like, this white track suit,
yeah.
and he's dancing, and he's lip-syncing to a Police cover that is
I'll be
playing at this
watching.
party. It is so bad.
Uh-huh.
It is so bad.
It is.
They couldn't afford a Police the Police song, so they bought a cover,
they did.
which they play twice in this movie.
Yeah, they on the record player later.
It's
That's a troll
so
dance
bad.
on.
It's it's crazy. But I kind of thought it was tense, and I kind of thought it was, I don't know. I was really into this guy's weird struggle with his cigarettes until this point in the movie, and I just went, this is like, those deviled eggs look like something from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Just like some monster that came to life, like a talking chair. And then I thought, well, this is just stupid now that he's hallucinating like this.
Yeah, the hallucinations get a little too goofy. A little too goofy. And then
he finally falls off the wagon.
Yeah, on his way to hitting in traffic, which I can imagine. Traffic is a time you just want to light up.
I guess. And he's got like a hidden stash of cigarettes in his glove compartment, but a ton of tapes fall out of there too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of all the places, though, because you want to do this where no one can see you, right? If you're under constant surveillance, to do it when you're in traffic where there could be a ton of people all around you.
You know,
not a good choice.
I thought the same thing several times in this movie. Several times in this movie, I was like, well, why doesn't he smoke now? Or why doesn't... But they're everywhere. Like, if a guy is standing in the closet in his home office, like, they're everywhere. You're not safe. He should just, listen, you lost.
Yeah.
And in a way, you won. You're not smoking anymore.
Right. Well, but he does. He has a slip up where he slips. He goes in, he finds it, he hides in the...
It is funny how he like ducks down in the passenger
he ducks
seat,
low,
and he smokes. And he's like, his hand comes up, waving the smoke away.
Yeah, yeah.
But just as everybody's honking at him because traffic has then started moving, he sees the guy next to him who was making out with a woman who is probably on the payroll too. That she's pretending to make out with this guy.
Yeah.
He looks over, and it's the guy who is it the guy who grabbed the cat at the beginning, I think?
Yes, I think it's the cat grabbing guy.
And he tips his little New York Mets hat to him, smiles, and drives away.
Kind of lets him know, like, I saw you, I'm going to report back. And now this is a first offense, right?
Yeah, he tears home. He books it home. He goes in, dinner's burning. His wife is nowhere to be found.
Clearly she's been abducted.
And he gets a call from Alan King, and he's like, hey, come on over to my office at 5 o'clock. We got some business
going
to
down.
do.
Yep. Mm-hmm. When he first gets to his office, the language that's used, like, so James Woods gets there, and he's really angry, obviously, that his wife's been taken. He calls him, where's my wife, you turd? He calls Alan King a turd. Then,
I mean, maybe this movie is rated PG.
They're trying to, it could be. They're trying to do some trick with the cat, right? The cat escapes. The cat somehow is out, and when the cat escapes,
you wrote this down?
Alan King's character says, "Oh, fiddly sticks," as he runs away.
Yeah, because what happens is James Woods sees his wife in this shock box.
Yeah. And she's hysterical.
He tries to smash this window with a stool, and then a fight ensues, and the henchman pulls out a gun, and he knocks it out of his hand. And there was a little bit of, first of all, they kind of shocked this cat. Now, I know they didn't shock the cat, actually, but it seemed uncomfortable. The cat did not seem to enjoy that scene. There's this scene, the cat is in the cat carrier on his desk. It gets knocked on the floor, then the door opens and the cat runs out. There's no cuts in this scene. This cat was in this, and they tipped it off of the desk and then let the cat out.
And then the cat was like, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't serious animal abuse, but it was pretty rough. But
Yeah,
so our hero, the cat, escapes at this point.
He's gone. He's out of there, right?
Mhm.
And again, the language, I think it's the thug that yells, or maybe it's Alan King that yells, "Forget the cat, you hemorrhoid."
Yep.
Like, who calls
Yeah,
somebody a
they
hemorrhoid?
really watched the language on this movie. I assume it was probably rated PG. I don't know.
I don't know.
But-
I'm not sure.
So his wife dances around to
We'll explain how it
99
gets.
Tears. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then so first she dances, right, creepily, and then does the hair? Then
The
air
hair
comes up and
stands up
blows her
immediately
hair.
because she's like,
Okay.
this is the worst ever.
Yeah.
And then I guess they sort of electrify or static, I don't understand science, the room, and her
Right.
hair stands up on end. And then just like the cat, they shock her little feet and she jumps
Yep.
around and screams
Mhm.
and yells. And it reminded me of like the scene in Reservoir Dogs when Michael Madsen turns on Stuck in the Middle with You and cuts off that cop's
Oh,
ear.
yeah, yeah.
It's like this fun little pop song playing and she's dancing.
But the psycho thing is happening.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
hmm
And then what happens is Alan King lets James Woods go to like a waiting room
Yes.
where his electrified wife is waiting,
hmm
and he and his Alan King and the thug kind of bet on like, I'll bet she's gonna slap him when she finds out what's happening.
Right.
But she doesn't. She
hugs him.
I guess he's willing to take these chances to quit smoking. She's proud of him.
Yeah. She wants him to keep doing it. He must have given her a really sincere apology too. Cause,
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry that fat
this
slob
is not
shocked
right.
you. You know,
And
weird
she was
groove.
like, "I knew you were a weak man. I knew you'd probably fuck up at least once. Just try not to get me raped or whatever."
Well, I doubt he told her about the raping.
I would hope not.
Yeah, she was probably like, "This is the first offense. What happens if you do it again?" He's like,
Well, wait.
"Maybe I go in. I don't. I don't know. They never told me."
So, P.S. The cat escapes and is on a boat, right?
This cat gets around. This cat knows where it's headed.
It's one traveling kitty.
Right.
Is what
The cat's
it is.
like, I got to get all the way to North Carolina by the
Yeah.
third story. Let's get this show on the road. So
I got some miles to earn.
we cut to 6 months later.
6 clean
And
months, mind you.
James Woods and Alan King are.
They're buddies. They are buddies.
Remember that shocking your wife thing? Hilarious. Not a big
Yep.
deal.
The
We're
program's
totally best friends.
working.
It has worked. He hasn't smoked in 6 months. It's great.
But he's packing on the pounds. He's
They're
packing on the
weighing
pounds.
him. It's
Yep.
all the ice cream and whiskey, I guess. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's
Yeah.
packing on the
He's
pounds.
packing on some weight. 8 pounds in 6 months. Now he's going to have to be on some diet pills, is what.
Oh, the diet pills part is great when he's like,
Yeah.
"Now take it easy with these diet pills. They're highly illegal." Okay. What? Wait.
This business
hold
is
on.
so illegitimate.
It is so illegitimate. And now they're like, the business has morphed from quit smoking into like weight management almost.
Well, now it's like it takes over his life.
And
right?
Alan King, the fat slob, is talking to James Woods about packing on
Right.
the pounds?
About
Come on.
yeah, well, Alan King doesn't smoke cigarettes, I guess. He doesn't
What
have
do
to
you-
worry about being overweight.
But if you're like 300 pounds, you can't be like, James Woods, you're a $160. You gotta cut it
You
down,
gotta
man.
cut it down. You got to. And now he does tell him that if he doesn't, right, if he can't keep the weight off, the wife will lose his pinky finger.
And they
right?
have quite a laugh about this.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. You're gonna cut my wife's finger off? That's
For 8
hilarious.
pounds.
There's no
Right.
way you would do that after electrocuting and promising to rape her.
To rape her. But then, fast forward to dinner,
He
right?
goes to dinner. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was interesting because they're at dinner with the guy who originally drove him to this Quitters
Oh,
Inc.
yeah.
and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody does this to me, drives me to this place and says, "Hey, I can't tell you about it, but it'll change your life," and it ends up these people threatening to rape, and then they electrocute my wife, and they want to like murder my child who has Down syndrome or something, like I'm not inviting this dude over for dinner anymore.
Right. This is not my best buddy.
No.
Nope. But
So
it is.
as they cheers Quitters Inc.,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
all
For changing
clink
their
their
lives.
glasses. Oh, it's the best. They love it. The guy who drove him there, his wife's a little reluctant to toast Quitters Inc.
Yeah. She looks a little uncomfortable, and you think she probably got the electric shock therapy recently, but nay.
Nope.
Nay.
When you zoom in on her hand, and she's missing part of her pinky. And James Woods seems concerned by this.
Yes. Because now not only does he have to keep the from the cigarette smoking, he has to keep those pounds off.
So, Jamie, before we started recording, you told me you were unaware that this was an anthology.
Oh, yeah.
So did you think this story was just going to keep going and we were going to see a rape at some point?
Oh. I was hoping not. I wondered if maybe he was going to fight against the man.
Oh, okay.
There was a point when I turned, and again, I watch a lot of these with my husband. I turned to him and I was like, what does this guy have to do? Because now all of a sudden we're in Atlantic City. The cat has brought us here.
Cat's on the boardwalk. It's great.
And now Drew Barrymore is back. But this is when she has the Shirley Temple curls, right?
Uh-huh.
The Annie curls you were saying.
Yep.
And she's on the TV. And again, when we saw her for the first time in the last episode or story or whatever, she was first the mannequin girls. So I'm like, is she like a shape-shifting little kid? Like, what's happening?
She was a mannequin, which then sort of like a
talked
ghost
to the cat.
Right, like a ghost figure of Drew Barrymore then sort of like turned away from this mannequin and started talking. Now we have Drew Barrymore in like a TV show or a commercial or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the same Drew Barrymore with the curly hair turns and starts talking to the cat while she's still on the commercial.
Creepy.
It's weird. But she like tells the cat, she's like, help me.
Find it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. She's like, help. You gotta help me. He's coming for me. It's terrible.
And the cat, I swear the cat gives the most concerned look. Like, honestly, the cat is such a good actor.
I know.
That's so crazy to say. But the cat's like all paranoid, crazy cat eyes. Like, oh, I'm going to help the girl. Even then, so the next scene the cat is in is the cat is trying to cross.
I love this. This is my favorite moment of the movie because we got this big muckety muck and he exits a casino with this woman and this other dude. The woman is great. And
she is.
So upset that she wasn't in the rest of this.
I know. You wanted her to be the...
As she's getting in this car, it's really great because she looks over and she sees the cat and she goes, oh, a cat! As though she has only ever read about them in books.
Like it's a chimpanzee walking the streets of Vegas.
And she even says something
Atlantic
like,
City.
my dad used to kill cats.
Oh, yeah, no, she makes some crazy statement about how her dad says all cats should be drowned after they're done playing with something. Very, very weird statement. Very weird feelings these people have about cats.
This movie does not like cats.
No.
Let's just say this. This movie...
Only Drew Barrymore does.
Only Drew Barrymore and kind of this bad guy in here. He's cool with the cat. He loves it.
Oh, he does like it, yeah.
But he does...
He makes a connection with it.
Right. Because he has to bet on everything. That's his backstory because we don't get a backstory. But he's got to bet on everything. So he bets this guy that the cat could cross the street and not get killed by a car.
Yes.
And this draws a crowd, too.
Yeah.
And there are a crowd of people watching this.
Watching this cat race this Atlantic City traffic. It causes an accident, mind you.
It causes a huge accident. But the cat survives. Comes over.
Cat crosses. And now becomes, like you said, now the
he
old
jumps
man
on this guy. This guy loves him. He's like, I'm going to take him home. I'm going to give him some milk. You guys go see... whoever, I can't think of an Atlantic City performer. I don't know. I got nothing.
I don't know either.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
That'd be fantastic, actually.
Yeah, you guys go see Bobcat Goldthwait. I'm gonna take this cat back.
Yeah, me and the cat are going home. We're gonna get acquainted. Right. Now, wait. So now in the same story. So again, I'm not privy yet to the. I'm like, okay, now where's James Woods?
You're still like, where's James Woods? Did he smoke another cigarette?
If he's in Atlantic City, he's bound to smoke.
Did he lose the weight? What is happening right now?
But now we're introduced to a couple, right? This madly in love couple.
Oh,
right?
yeah, we got Stryker from Airplane.
Oh yeah, good call. Good call. He's taking his girlfriend to the train, right? Kind of giving her a send off. He's gonna
it's
meet
kinda
up
like,
with her.
listen, you're gonna meet me there. It'll be great. Don't worry. Everything's fantastic. We kind of know what's happening because even before we see them, this guy who's now taking this cat in is like, you trailing him. You got, all right, make sure, bring him to my place. Da, 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 da. So we kind of know that these, unlike James Woods, we know that these two stories are connected.
Right.
And he's immediately abducted. So Stryker from Airplane is immediately abducted by Mike Starr. Do you know that guy from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah. A very young Mike Starr, but
very young, and he wears a very tight T-shirt.
Still sloppy, but
very sloppy. But we do find out that he is cheating on this older guy's wife.
Oh yeah, he with this older guy's wife.
This young woman is his wife.
Yes.
And this guy's like an aging tennis pro, they say.
Yeah, because he's got he's got a fancy car, tennis rackets in it. They take him from the airport and they plant heroin or they plant drugs in his car.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because like,
are you wearing a DuckTales shirt?
Oh yeah, I am. You just noticed that? Okay. Yeah, my wife comes home and she's like, "Do you like DuckTales?" I'm like, "I don't know. I never really used to watch it a whole lot." She's like, I bought your shirt." Okay, great.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry, I just noticed.
No, that's okay. That's fine. So Stryker's taken to this guy's like penthouse suite in this hotel, and he's told, like, he's made this deal. He's like, "Listen, we put a bunch of heroin in your car."
Yep.
And like, we put a bunch of money and a bunch of heroin in your car.
We're going to frame you, basically.
Right, we're going to frame you, and you'll be doing time forever. And, you shouldn't have cheated on my wife, but I'll make you a deal.
What a deal.
The bet is he cannot sort of, like, traverse
scale
the top. Yeah, like go around the top of the building on, like, a ledge that just is outside the top floor. Right? And if he does this, he gets the money.
Yep. He gets the girl.
And I guess he doesn't get killed or whatever.
Right.
Whatever the last part of this
and
is.
This man claims he's a man of his word, the shady shyster.
And kind of this entire story is just him walking around this building.
But it's an intense walk around because it's not just, hey, okay, you got to walk the perimeter very carefully. It's a shady thing. But this guy taunts him throughout.
He taunts him in very creative and highly amusing ways.
Kind of cartoonish at times.
I love when he opens the window and the guy comes out with like a Marx Brothers horn and he's like, it's so weird. At one point, he sprays him with a fire hose. He gets on the roof of the building to get the fire hose so that he can spray this guy.
It's intense. It's an intense walk around. It's all of a sudden it becomes very breezy too. There's a bird. I mentioned this before. There's a pigeon that like won't stop like beaking.
Yep, beaking.
Beaking.
It's when they use their beak to just beak.
He's beaking at his feet incessantly.
And it's bloody. This thing pecks him until his like Argyle sock has a dot of blood. And I'm like, this is horrific.
Yeah, this is a deadly pigeon. And it gets insane. Oh, then he somehow gets to a electrical sign. I guess the sign for the
it's
letters.
Like a big logo for the hotel, and it falls down.
He almost falls. He almost bites it completely on that, but he does make it, right?
Makes it all the way around. And in the meantime, right before he comes in, you see that the big guy is like, he's talking to another guy, and he's like, "Listen, when he comes in, I'll start talking to him, and you come in with this gun, and then our great plan is in effect." So he's not an honorable betting man.
Yeah, and apparently he's a psycho. Because, okay, so he comes back in, he's done the wall, he's did it, he survived, And the plan is he's given a box with the money in it, right? But then they kick over the box, and he was like, and I told you could have my wife too, and you can. And it's her head. It's her head rolls out of the box.
In a movie that has avoided cursing, we see a woman's head roll across the floor. And Stryker's freaking out, but this other guy has a gun on him. But the cat, our hero, the cat.
Oh, yeah. The cat comes back.
Does not seem to be enjoying this. The cat does not like this guy.
No.
And the cat fights back. So, as Stryker grabs the old man and starts to wrestle with him, the guy with the gun starts to walk down these steps, and the cat trips him, and the gun flies out of his hand.
Causes chaos just for the right purpose. Yep.
Stryker picks up the gun. He shoots the other guy, the guy who had a gun on him. And then he holds the old guy at gunpoint. Now, I love this part in the movie because the old guy is like laying on this couch. Yeah, and he's trying to make a deal. He's like, listen, you can have the money. If you don't want that money, I have way more money. I'll put it in a Swiss bank account. Right. While he's saying this, he falls, like slides off the couch. Right. And there's like a little table there with a magazine on it. And he starts paging through. Oh, yeah, he does. He does. I expected like a cutscene to his other house. Yeah, like I expected a cutscene to his other hand, like going under the couch to get another gun. No, he's just flipping through a magazine.
He just when he feels threatened, he needs to page through.
It is the weirdest
it's very
choice, quote unquote, by this actor in this scene.
I agree. I forgot about that, but I did note it. Yeah.
So Stryker says, I got a better idea.
Yeah, you're going
You
on the
walk
ledge.
around your building. Yep. You go out on that ledge. And if you make it around... I don't even think he finishes or makes a deal with him.
Doesn't the cat sabotage him too?
No.
On the ledge? Oh, no, you just see the cat eyeballing the horn.
Right, the cat's like, I'm getting out of here. This is, again, a shady deal. I got some milk, I guess. I'm back on the road.
Right. Get some milk.
I think the cat hops a train too.
Yes, that's how the cat gets to North Carolina is by the train.
But the old guy goes out and he starts to go around this building, and that pesky pigeon comes back. And it's basically responsible for this man's death because unlike Stryker, who just kind of let this thing peck his foot until it bled, the old man tries to kick this bird. He slips, and therefore, like a cartoon version of him falls off this building. Yep. And the cat watches it happen. Again, good cat acting, because the cat looks down and splat. The cat's eye track this man as he falls off the building to his death, and then hops a train to North Carolina.
With a careless look in his eye, too, like you deserved it, old man. Old creepy man, right?
And that's the end of story 2. So we're on to our last story.
We are introduced. We think that I thought it was like the POV of like a chipmunk.
Oh, right? Because chipmunks sound like...
Well, I certainly didn't guess it was a troll.
Right. Well, yeah. Who would guess that? You're right.
No, there's some kind of rustling in the trees outside of this one house, right, in this little suburb. And again, I was like, I guess they have a rodent problem. I don't know what this is. Outside of this home, this idyllic little home where Drew Barrymore is now having a car wash fight with her dad.
Oh, it's adorable. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Her dad. Kind of
I like the mom in this.
The better of the two parents, or the nicer of the two parents.
The mom is like she's like, I don't like the cat. The cat's not staying.
Oh my God, this mother hates cats. Wow.
And she has a foreign mom like her, because later at one point the father makes fun of I think her German mom.
Talks like Dracula, and she's like, don't make fun of my mother.
She's like, no, I love it when you make fun of my mother after dinner. Like she brings the cat to the pound at one point. She traps it. She's like, come here, kitty, opening up the tuna.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. I jumped all around with that. She's a stern mama.
So we get cut shots. Why I knew it wasn't the cat. First of all, I've seen this before. But second of all,
Right.
we see that the cat not only takes a train, but then it hops in the bed of a truck. And the truck takes it kind of right to this girl's house.
Yep. It knows just where to go.
Great. Like, I expected the guy to, like, poke his head out of the truck and be like, go for it, cat. You got it.
It's all you. Honk, honk. Yeah.
So the cat goes into the house. It just runs into the house and up to the girl's room, up to Drew Barrymore's room. But you're right. In the meantime, we get these POV shots of something running through the yard.
Some critter.
Talking like, I don't know, like Howie Mandel or something. And her parents, Drew Barrymore wants to keep this cat.
Oh, yeah. The general.
Not the general who sells car insurance. With Shaquille O'Neal. Have you seen those commercials? The general commercials with Shaquille O'Neal?
No, not with Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh my God. He's driving in the general's car with the general at the end of the commercial. It's insane. It's crazy.
I have not seen these. No.
Oh, you have to. Look it up. When we're done, type it in because it's goofy.
It's worth a while. Okay.
It's worth it, yeah.
Okay.
There's also a Shaquille O'Neal commercial where he's talking about back pain, right? Like he does commercials for like Icy Hot or something like that.
Okay.
So he's standing there with this woman and she's like, "Oh, my back," and he's like, "Icy Hot's the best." Then she puts it on and she's like, "My back feels so much better." And she jumps up to give him a high five. But they're standing in front of the table, and clearly this woman is standing on a crate, so she can reach his hand because she's nearly as tall as Shaquille O'Neal, and she's this older white woman. And the proportion just looks insane.
So weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great.
That's awesome.
Oh, I wish Shaquille O'Neal was in this movie.
Oh, that would be great. I could see Shaquille and the cat kind of really getting it.
I wish Shaquille O'Neal was like her dad. Wouldn't that be just the most confusing?
Yeah, that would have been a little. That would have added an extra. Although I don't think the troll would. I don't think the troll.
You're
not
going to mess with. Yeah, you're not going to mess with Shaq. I don't care how many of those door stops you have. That's not stopping Shaquille O'Neal from kicking that bedroom door in.
Not even kicking. His foot so large he would just squash him just by stepping on him.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't a big troll guy.
So anyway, this girl's mom, who's married to Shaquille O'Neal, does not want her to have this cat sleep with her. Which, I mean, she's got a canary in her room.
Yeah, she's got her.
I'm not saying this woman's right, and I'm not saying that just because I dislike cats. But she's got a point.
She's got a point. Amanda, I think, is this kid's name. She asked, what if we take it to the vet and get it checked out? Because I get it. Stray cats especially, can carry all kinds of whatever. The mom also seems to have some background. They joke about this when they make fun of the mom's mother, that maybe she thinks cats take away children's breath. Is this a tale you were told in...
My grandmother used to tell my dad this.
Really?
Yes. So it's like a real thing, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, he used to tell us that his mom used to tell us the same thing. She was very anti-pet, though. She never wanted them to have pets or anything. He's pretty sure that one day he had goldfish. He's pretty sure one day she flushed him down the toilet while he was at school. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We don't need to take care of these. Aww. So she okay.
Yeah, so she said, her mom said that cats steal kids' breaths.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how she uses like Looney Tunes logic to say that the cat and bird don't get along.
Yeah, don't you see Sylvester and Tweety?
Which makes sense. Well,
that's the only knowledge you have of cat. And
I'd love for her to be like, you know what else doesn't get along? Roadrunners and coyotes.
Right,
rabbits and ducks. They hate each other.
These are proven facts, my young one. Proven facts. All right.
Chuck Jones told me all about it. I don't know, was that Chuck Jones? Or was he just...
Yeah, right?
I don't know if he was, she did watch,
she watched Tom and Jerry,
and Jerry. I think that's Chuck Jones. Anyway, whatever. Chuck Jones made some money from this movie, let's just say.
Okay, we'll say it's product placement for him. All right. The cat hangs out, is not allowed in the house, but hangs out by the house every night, basically.
And this is
Stalks
how you
her.
get stray cats, people. You take your cat
Yeah.
and you put it outside at night. That's how you're getting unwanted kittens. That's
Yep.
how you're being overrun with all these cats that you cannot adopt. The mother should have taken this cat into a different room. Put it in the basement for the night. Whatever.
Oh, right.
Then
right.
the next day you take it to the vet. You get it fixed. The end. It's a little message to our audience out there.
Yeah. How to handle their strays. How to handle their strays. All right, fair enough. Another thing, maybe a little something that you might want to do is don't let your kid chew a wad of bubble gum before bed. Who does that?
Wait, what?
Don't
I
let
didn't
your kid
notice
chew
this.
Did you not?
No.
Oh. When the dad comes in to kind of talk to her about the nightmare she's been having, because clearly,
To tell her good night, she's just chewing gum?
yeah, she's chewing this gigantic wad of gum.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And then he makes her, yeah.
Oh. Maybe
Anyway.
I fast forwarded through that. But no, I didn't because the dad really is on her side.
Yeah, no, he is. And he wants her to be able to get the cat to stay in, but they got to kind of make a deal. You know what I mean? Like they got to kind of work together if they're going to convince mom that this is a good idea.
You stop having these crazy nightmares, kid. You
Right.
cannot make a deal with a child like that. Like,
Wow.
if she's having, like, night terrors or something, you can't tell her not to do that.
Right. You can't stop the dreams from happening, right?
Right.
But you also can't get this wife to trust that cat. She just does
she
not.
hates it so
She
much.
does not.
My God, this woman. But, so, we
Now night.
find out
Mm-hmm.
that there's a goblin who's dressed like a jester.
Let's say how we find out. Yep. Oh, dressed like a jester. Yep, with a
Yeah.
jester's hat.
So it lives in her walls, or it got in her walls somehow, and it opens. The wall opens up. Like goofy special effects, the wall opens up. And it comes out, and it's like this little dagger, and it looks kind of scary.
It is a little bizarre. It's got weird, sharp teeth, right? And
It's these two little beady eyes,
yeah,
and its
yeah.
face just looks like a bunch of clay just mushed together.
mushed, yeah, but with a weird point. Yeah, yeah. So it goes, it attacks the bird, right? And it makes those weird noises.
Yeah, it's voiced by who's the guy who does all the voices? Oh man, I can't think of his name. He did the voice of Freddy in Scooby-Doo. Frank Welker.
Okay.
Who does anytime you hear voice acting in a movie, he's got 300 credits on IMDb.
Wow.
Anytime
Holy
a
crap,
cartoon
holy.
character farts, it's Frank Welker's mouth making that noise.
That's fantastic.
Yes. So he does the voice for this monster who doesn't say words. It just grunts and
No, yeah. Makes
So
noises.
I guess it murders this bird with like a knife, right? Does it
Yeah.
take that knife and it kills that bird?
I think so. Yeah, and it's funny because we see again the bird's got pretty good acting too, because the bird's in the cage with a cover over it, and the jester, you could hear the bell, right, ringing on the jester hat as it crawls up, as the troll crawls up, and the bird's kind of like freaking out, like, what's
looking
gonna happen to me?
It looks really nervous. It's like that little thing has hands. It can get in here. It can operate this
And then
door.
you feel so bad. Like in that moment, I had this like, oh my God, the bird is really helpless to
Yeah. Oh yeah.
to its predator, because especially in the cage, it can't really fly away. This thing is like crawling and coming at it, and the bird has no choice but to just.
And I don't
Just take
understand
it.
why does it kill the bird? Like this goblin isn't smart enough to frame a cat, right? Like it just wants to kill the bird.
I think it just wants to kill the bird, and then it goes after her.
It goes after her.
It's weird when it's on her little chest. Like, it's just a weird. And then it's even weirder when its little fingers close on her nose.
It's so cute in a creepy way.
I agree.
It's
and
so
her
cute
little
because
nose is so
it pinches her nose to, I guess, try and suffocate her. But then she opens her mouth to breathe, and it seems disturbed and distressed by that. It like jumps back a little bit. But General
dun, dun,
jumps
dun,
in the
dun.
window and scares him off. Way to go, General. Wonderful. But in the commotion of this, The
Yeah.
parents are alerted,
Mm-hmm.
and they come in to find the dead bird.
Yeah.
And I listen. We're praising this animal acting, and we talked earlier about Drew Barrymore does a great job. She does a great job. When that poor bird is dead, and she discovers it,
yeah.
she seems genuinely distressed by this.
She also seems genuinely relieved because she knows that it's General that just saved her. She knows about the troll. She knows, so she's cradling General and like so thankful
Mm-hmm.
for his protection. And then then it's discovered. Her parents realize that Polly, I think, was the bird. Yeah,
Sure,
Polly
but I mean, what else are you gonna name a bird? But yeah.
Right, Polly's dead, and you're right. She it's a sad time. It's a sad time. And now this sets the mom over the edge.
The mom's like, I want
knew.
that cat dead. That cat's gonna die. I hate
I
it
told
so
you
much."
I didn't trust that cat, right? And she's taking no prisoner, right? When the dad sees the cat the next day, he kind of like talks to it and is like, because the cat's outside kind of prowling around. He's like, I don't know why you had to go and do that. Like, now you really messed up your chances. And when he touches the cat, he realizes the cat has like a pretty severe like wound.
Yes.
And he goes
exactly.
back and kind of tells the wife, hey, it's kind of a suspicious wound that he has. And she makes a comment about, well, Polly did have a big pecker, you know.
Yeah.
Could have taken him. Could have really stabbed it. Anyway.
And I don't... whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the logistics of a cat opening a bird cage door in order to murder the bird.
They didn't think of those
inside.
logistics.
Right, yeah.
They didn't.
But her mom, like, I mean, you've seen
This was
Sylvester and Tweety. Her mom knows cats have fingers that can open all sorts of stuff.
This was the last straw. The mom didn't want
So
her.
the mom waits for everybody to leave.
Yeah.
I love how she waits for everybody to leave. And then
She's
she
got a plan.
lures the cat in with some tuna.
Uh-huh.
And then cut to...
Then she takes it to a place with a fireplace.
She's got
You
this
don't know
cat in a cardboard box. And she walks into what looks like a basement, like where Freddy Krueger was killed. Because she takes this cat to the incinerator. Like, at the end of the scene, I'm like, did she just throw that cat in a
That's what I thought. I was like, did she just shove him into a furnace? What did she do with the cat?
It is weird because there's no sign that says the pound,
Like
or
pound,
animal shelter,
no.
or anything. She's just walking into a garage, and then the camera pans up, smoke is billowing
Like
out.
this is like a concentration camp for kitties. Like you just know that you can take your cat there if you want to burn him alive.
Well, they wanted to be sure we knew what was happening, which is a bit of overkill because we know what's happening when the guy walks in and he goes, "Hey, tomorrow's your lucky day, buddy," and he puts a sign in that literally says termination right on the cat's cage.
But this is a stealthy cat, right? We all know this cat gets into and out of things.
Exactly. And the cat does escape, but in the meantime, Drew Barrymore's really upset.
Oh, she's distraught.
That the cat's gone, and if I could just give a parenting tip to all the parents out there listening.
Sure.
If your child's pet dies, the last thing you should do is murder their only other pet. That is terrible.
Yeah, this
because
is like
the mom kind of looks out the window.
a 1-2 punch for that kid. Yeah.
The mom looks out the window as Drew Barrymore's wandering around in like a lightning
storm
looking for this cat, and she's like,
General!
I guess she'll get over it.
She's like, the cat was no good. I told you guys. I had bad instincts about that cat. Oh.
So, it's nighttime. Drew Barrymore goes to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Cat's gone. She's very upset. She's like, do you think General ran away because he thinks that we think that he killed Polly? How upsetting. Right. And her mom's like, shut up, idiot. Go to sleep. It's
that
fine. Don't worry. Cats are stupid.
Yeah.
Who cares? So the goblin returns.
The troll jester. Jester.
Right. So the jester troll shows up, and it starts to suck her breath out, just like her mom.
Just like a cat. Yeah. Yeah.
It starts to remove her breath, and General busts in. comes
Well,
in.
we hear that triumphant cat music again. That starts up again.
It's some pretty exciting music. This
Uh-huh.
cat is a great soundtrack and theme song, I guess.
Yeah.
So the cat busts in, and there is literally, like I said earlier, a cat and troll battle taking place on
Yep.
Drew Barrymore
Yep.
as she sits there trying to catch her breath. Like, I guess this troll...
Oh, yeah, she's
like,
kind of coughing it out. Yeah.
mhm.
He
She
did take
can't-
some.
She can kind of... She ends up yelling for her parents, but you see that the troll has wedged the
Oh,
door
yeah.
shut. So the parents can't get in. They're yelling and screaming at the door. She's inside yelling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it is an epic and ridiculous battle that this
Oh.
cat and troll wage against one
They
another.
go at it, right? And don't forget now the troll has a weapon, right? And the cat chases him all around onto the record player.
Oh,
where he turns,
he
right?
jumps. The troll climbs up a pile of books. At one point, the
Onto
troll
a balloon, right? Does he
jumps
float onto?
onto a balloon, and it is a weird bit of comic relief where, like, this music, like this dun 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 music plays as the troll is on these balloons and appears to be getting away. And then he starts to sink lower, and the troll looks at the camera like,
Uh-huh.
it is so silly.
Uh-huh.
But you're right, the general chases him onto a record player.
That plays that I'll be watching you song, yeah.
I love that this girl's parents bought her a record.
And they play the song. While she sleeps, I'll be watching. I didn't put that
Merry
together.
Christmas,
but it's
honey.
there.
Here's a cover version of a Police song on this record. So the cat is smart
Oh, and
enough.
if you ever want to quit smoking, we know of a great place.
So the cat is smart enough to increase the speed
Oh,
of
yeah.
this record
General's
to the
no
point
joke.
where, hilariously, the goblin flies off
Bling.
into the fan.
Oh, and then it
As
gets
now,
chopped in.
it sounds like the chipmunks are singing "I'll Be Watching You," which is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
funny. So he flies into the fan, and like goblin goo flies everywhere.
Goblin guts all
And it's
over.
just in time because our parents bust
Yep.
it.
And now they, of course, at first they are right away like, what is this cat is causing all this commotion because they're not going to believe. But then they look by the fan as Drew Barrymore is like exclaiming, no, it's happened. The cat was fighting a troll, and they're like, all right, maybe we need to take her to some child psychology like sessions, and they go over to the fan and they see the troll guts.
Yeah, and they find like the hole in the wall, and they
Yeah.
see troll guts. They see a troll arm. It's just an arm, totally intact, laying there. And her dad picks up like the little dagger.
Yeah, and I think he like puts it together like this is what killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess there are trolls.
So
They're
I
totally
like
real.
They're real. I like it. So now they also realize that if word gets out that there was a troll hiding in her wall that tried to kill her, the kids at school are going to think she's a little weird, right? So the parents blackmail
Wait,
her.
is it the kids at school that they're concerned about?
Well, I think it's just in general. They don't want people to think that she's crazy.
Well,
with
I
this
don't
troll
think they
in the
want
wall.
people. I think they don't want people to think that their entire family's crazy because at this point, the parents understand what has happened,
Right.
Which
right.
is some sort of monster
Yeah,
came
yeah.
through the wall, and this cat killed it.
Yeah.
But I love how they first, before they try and strike a deal with her, they want to make sure she's safe. So her dad's like, "Is that the only one? Are you
Yeah,
sure
yeah, yeah.
there's
Did you
not
see any
more?"
others? Yeah. Are there any? Did they have any friends? She's like, I don't think so. I only saw the one. Yeah.
And which makes me think, like, I thought when this troll showed up at this house, that was the first time it had been there. So why does she keep saying she saw it in her dreams? Just that one time? Like that night
Yeah, but-
before?
No. In her dreams, as all those other Drew Barrymores, as her dream is Drew Barrymore the mannequin, and like that's what I wonder.
Are
like
you
the whole
talking about
time.
like this is Drew Barrymore being reincarnated throughout the years as a little girl who has her breath sucked out by a troll?
Yes, and that finally it's
What?
only the cat, General, that can protect her.
Oh my
That's why
God.
through the whole movie she's just trying to get General to protect her.
Jamie, this is nothing I thought when I was watching this movie.
Oh, well, this is
And
what
I
tried to
am
put
glad
together.
you came up with this because I love it. It actually gives the mannequin some sort of purpose.
Right? Like, I figured that's why.
And the Shirley Temple Drew Barrymore. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of
That's,
dig that.
I mean, if you're going to get a connection, you know, she's the connection and the cat's the connection. And so, well, so the General, the cat at the end gets to feast on this giant fish, right? There's just like a big
It's a whole
fish laid out. Yep. And the
Well,
cat's
the
just
cat's
like,
a hero. This
And-
cat is a hero. It finally gets its payoff, which is a giant fish.
giant just fish for it to eat. Then it has a creepy makeout moment with Drew Barrymore, right?
I think that we as the audience, once it switches to a POV shot of something going up the steps, were we supposed to think it was another troll? Because I was
Well, I think
was
at
pretty
first,
sure it
yeah.
was a cat.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know if it was just supposed to make you feel a little like maybe tense, like what could this be? Is this going to happen all over again? You know, I was wondering, is this James Woods looking for a pack of smokes? I wasn't sure. Making that weird noise. No, but it is the cat crawling up the stairs, and it jumps onto her chest. Kind of again, you're like, is he going to kill her? Is he going to kind of turn on her? And he just starts licking her in the face, and the last part is her creepily looking at him and going, "Hi."
Hi, General. And I don't want to say like what a letdown for this cat, but
No.
to sort of just retire to the life of a normal cat seems
Well,
kind of
this is the girl.
anticlimactic.
This is the girl he's been looking for the whole movie. Again, if you think that this cat and this girl have this connection, well, then he is happy. He's finally getting to be with her and protect her from jester trolls.
I just feel like this
But-
cat has to go out. It has to solve more mysteries.
I think the cat has more traveling to do. Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
continue to fight crime wherever it exists.
It's
Continue
a smart
down
cat.
along the
I agree.
East Coast. Go. There's something happening in Atlanta that this cat
Get-
has to deal with. I'm
Get
sure.
to Florida. I'm sure that there's some pedophiles the cat could scratch his eyes out. Right?
That's
I mean,
right.
I'm. So yeah, this cat. I think there should have been a cat's eyes too. Cats have 9 lives, and this cat definitely.
You could
This
do
was
9
only
movies.
3. Mm-hmm.
But who knows? You know what? Cats don't live that long. This cat may have died like the year after this movie. And what are you
Maybe,
going to
and
do?
they
You going to
couldn't-
find another cat that can act this well? No. This is like a 1 in a million shot.
It really was. Really was good acting by an animal. Really good.
I was very impressed by that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Me too. I was too. Now, were you impressed by the movie overall?
No, I wasn't. No.
No.
I mean,
And you
I
had
don't-
seen it, right?
I
You
had seen it. I didn't. I knew the basic premise of all of these stories.
Okay.
I think the one that I was least surprised by was the one where the guy walks around the building, because that's kind of all that story is. So
Oh yeah.
everything
yeah.
about that, I was like, oh, I've seen this before. I thought the Drew Barrymore story was super short. I didn't know all of these were split into like half-hour segments. I thought like the Drew Barrymore thing was like 15 minutes. So
Okay.
I think I sort of enjoyed that one the most. Like I kind of liked the parents, like how over top evil the mom was, and the dad and the mom. Like I sort of enjoyed that story the most.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, this is a movie because it's an anthology. If people are interested, I'd say watch the first one. If you think that the James Woods one is okay, skip the second one. That was nothing. Like,
Yeah,
that was very
the second one
disappointing.
was kind of confusing. I feel not even confusing. It just
Well, you thought it was all one movie. I understand why you were confused.
why by the second one and by the third one you're like, oh wait, they're 3 different. Okay, got it. I think the James Woods one was kind of interesting to me because of how extreme it was. It reminded me of, and I've talked about this on the show before, that the Black Mirrors show.
Yeah. Boy, you're really
And
on a Black Mirror kick. You're
Well, I
all
haven't
about
watched it in a
this.
while, but but that's what it kind of reminded me of because of the bizarre intensity of like the program that he had to go through. But the movie itself, I didn't remind me of a Black Mirror's episode. Just that particular.
I mean,
segment.
It felt to me like they were all like lesser Twilight Zone episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you watch a Twilight Zone episode that isn't that good, or like in the Quitter Sink one, like, oh, this has a really good idea, but they don't. It just kind of peters out at the end.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
I think it all just, yeah.
Would you recommend it?
No. I had never seen it before, though, so I will say I was, glad I had seen it in a sense.
Oh, were you? Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it was kind of an interesting other movie to add to kind of my 80s repertoire. I'm glad in that way that I'm like, oh, yeah, that movie, I saw it. Because, again, with these movies that we watch, there's so many of them that I realize I haven't just haven't seen. And some of them I regrettably, oh, yeah, now I saw that. But this I feel like, oh, yeah, I don't know why. I'm just kind of glad to have added it. But I didn't enjoy it. Does that make sense?
I felt like it was fun to see James Woods. I enjoyed
and she was great in it.
James Woods. And Drew Barrymore was fine. Like, it was...
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's very forgettable. Like, this idea of horror anthology, like, that was done in the 80s quite a bit and in the 90s, and it was never done that well. I don't know. It was like a lesser Stephen King. I mean, I don't know. A lot of his movies are terrible.
Is your recommendation a Stephen King?
It is
Mine
not.
Is.
I felt like I could have done that, but I didn't. So why don't you start? Well,
I did, and my recommendation is going to be loose because I remembered that Dolores Claiborne was a Stephen King movie, and I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm now inspired to watch it again because I don't know.
Is that where Kathy Bates killed
Kathy Bates, yes.
Her
and
husband,
Jennifer,
like she killed her, shoved her husband down a hole or something.
Yeah, it's really kind of a bizarre, Jennifer Jason Leigh is in it.
I'd never seen it. I think I read it. I don't know. I read a lot of Stephen King when I was... That's a newer one, but I read a lot when I was way too young to be reading stuff like that.
Okay.
But I remember, like, my mom had all the books.
Okay.
So I would just read them because they were just lying around the house.
Okay.
And I was like in 5th grade, and
so these weren't really.
They were highly inappropriate. There's all sorts of sex and stuff in those books,
Your young mind.
But like, and I think my mom has said this to me before. She's like, "But you were reading, and aren't we supposed?"
Yeah, I guess we're supposed to encourage reading.
I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I am reading, and there are words I clearly did not understand.
Right. Concepts that you didn't. Right. Yeah.
I was learning, and I was really into
absorbing,
reading.
And you were motivated to read. Yeah. So there you go. Well, so if it's not a Stephen King, then what do you recommend?
It's not. I'm going to recommend another horror anthology. And I was so hoping that this was an 80s movie. But when I thought of it, I looked, and it's 1990.
Oh, it's just cusp.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Oh.
Because, and here's the reason why I recommended this. First of all, it's great because the through line of this one is that Debbie Harry, as a witch, has Matthew Lawrence, little brother of my favorite Lawrence, in a cage, and she's gonna cook him, and she's gonna eat him. So to stall her, he tells her 3 scary stories.
This is a delight.
And one of the scary stories ends with a cat jumping down the throat of Buster Poindexter.
Oh.
And I swore that was in Cat's Eye. Like, I was like, when are we getting to the story with Buster Poindexter?
You were mixing.
I was so bummed out that we didn't get to that. But no, Tales from the Dark Side. I don't remember what the other stories are. It could very well be a terrible movie. But I remember the opening with Debbie Harry and Matthew Lawrence. And I remember the story where a cat...
For a second, I thought you said Martin Lawrence. And then when you said favorite brothers, I was like, wait, what is this movie with Martin Lawrence?
Nope. No, the only time I'll talk about Martin Lawrence is when I say that he should have been the lead in Do the Right Thing.
Oh.
Spike Lee, not an actor. Martin Lawrence, the best actor. All right, so that is it for Stephen King's Cat's Eye from 1985.
Yep.
In 2 weeks, Jamie, 2 weeks, we are going to celebrate the invention of the Barbie doll because it is the anniversary. I don't know how many years. I didn't do that math.
Details aren't necessary.
Nope. But 2 weeks from today, the Barbie doll was invented. So we had a couple movies that we could have chosen.
Yeah, we did.
But we decided to go with one about a mannequin. Called
Mannequin.
Mannequin.
This is a pretty popular 80s. I feel like a lot of people. This is like our Top Gun-ish.
Jamie,
maybe
can
not
I tell
that
you
macho.
something then?
Please.
I've never seen Mannequin.
No.
I have never seen Mannequin in my life.
Ever in your life?
Never. First of all,
wow. Aren't you in for a treat?
I don't know how it escaped me when I was younger. And even when I was older, I cannot stand... What's her name?
Kim Cattrall?
Yes. I don't like her. She bothers me. I don't like her.
You don't like her, so you wouldn't want to see her as a mannequin.
Nope. I never watched it. I think as I got older, because of her. And we get to revisit another Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy! Big fan of his. We didn't know.
We cannot. The only
we
thing
can't
I can
escape
hope
him.
Is that we go through his entire filmography as soon as possible.
Throughout, I hope so.
We do not.
Is this?
But this is like straight up comedy, so maybe he didn't do it for us in Less Than Zero. He didn't do it for us in St. Elmo's Fire.
It didn't quite get there for me then. No, maybe here's where he'll shine.
I like Weekend at Bernie's. So
yeah, but we didn't cover that yet.
If he's bringing his Weekend at Bernie's game to Mannequin, I'm okay with it. I'll have a good time.
Well, we shall see what we think of
see.
Mannequin in 2 weeks when we watch it and discuss it.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what we do here.
That's how we do this.
All right. Oh, so everybody, please remember, leave us a rating and review on iTunes. If we get to a magic number, which is 50, we will release a bonus episode. Who knows what it'll be? I can't wait. We haven't even decided.
No.
That's not even a lie. We don't even know what we're doing.
We're sending a cat on a journey to find out. He's mid-journey right now. He'll return.
It called us from North Carolina. It said it's almost there. We don't know how to interpret that.
Yeah.
But it's almost to, I guess, the place where it's going to get the movie and bring it back to us?
And bring it back to us, I guess. Yeah. I'm excited to see.
Did it have to go to North Carolina to find a video store?
I think that's what it was, yes. It's in Raleigh somewhere.
I think there's like 4 Blockbusters left in the country, so it's headed to one of those to find a movie for us.
Thanks, General.
General will come back and it'll be like, look, Little Darlings. We'll be like, you stupid cat.
You jerk, yeah.
You'll put it in a box and take it down.
To the furnace building, to the furnace shop.
Yep, we sell all sorts of furnaces. All right. Well, then, everybody, we will see you in 2 weeks when we're talking about mannequins.
Yes.
And I think motorcycles are in this.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun time. You see malls, lots of malls.
There's malls in this? Oh, wait.
Malls?
She's a mannequin.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That checks out. Malls, yep. All right, everybody. We will talk to you then.
See ya.
So remember now, some of these diet pills are highly illegal, so I want you to use them sparingly.